1:09.94. More important, a clear, sensational round for Joe Fargas. Oh, beautiful.
You say touch of class. That was a lot more than just a touch of class.
Green coming to the top. Kudos to the horse. Joe Fargas, touch of class. We'll be back. Santa Anita with more of the exciting phase of the equestrian competition here. Team show jumping.
The games of the 23rd Olympiad are being brought to you by Kmart. From quality merchandise to low prices, we've got it and we've got it good. By Michelob, one smooth and mellow taste tells you that some things speak for themselves. Nissan, builders of high-mileage, high-quality cars and trucks for 50 years, available at your Datsun dealer. And Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you. New York style. The games of the 23rd Olympiad. Brought to you by Nissan, builders of high-mileage, high-quality cars and trucks for 50 years, available at your Datsun dealer. Light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. And Levi Strauss & Company, official outfitter of the U.S. Olympic team and the 1984 Olympic Games.
So now coming up, it'll be Conrad Homfeld against his partner and teammate, Joe Fargas, for the gold and silver. Only one time in the history of the equestrian sport for the United States has the USA won an individual gold, and that was in '68. My colleague Bill Steinkraus did it. So he's going to be joined today. But by whom?
By whom indeed. And they've also won the individual silver, and that was way back in 1932 in Los Angeles when Harry D. Chamberlain and Showgirl made that wonderful individual result.
And we should point out sort of a recap of the equestrian events, as this is the final competition. The three-day event gold, as we look at the Duke of Edinburgh in the center, Prince Philip. And on the left, Fritz Widmer, Executive Secretary of the International Equestrian Federation, Prince Philip being the president. All right, Abdullah. Abdullah looks good walking in that direction, Bill Steinkraus. This is a fine competitor.
He just can't go any better than he went in the last round. This time, all he can do is to go a little bit faster. He can't go more beautifully. I would say both Conrad Homfeld and Joe Fargas are excellent riders against the clock. I don't know, they've discussed tactics so much together that it's very, very hard to say who has the edge, if any.
Well, they both have a gold because of the United States winning the show jumping team gold. Well, in the three-day event, a team gold for the USA and an individual silver for Karen Stives. Dressage, no medals. And as I mentioned, a team gold in show jumping, Fargas, Homfeld, Smith, and Leslie Burr. 6 fences, 7 jumping efforts because of 10A and B, and against the clock for the gold and silver medals. The finale here at Santa Anita, which has been a superb venue for the equestrian events. Where Seabiscuit became famous as a dauntless thoroughbred. Affirmed the Triple Crown winner from here. And now Conrad Homfeld and Abdullah, that 14-year-old gray stallion. And they've only been together since January.
That's right. What a good combination they've forged in those intervening months, however. From trial to trial in the Olympic trials, they went better and better and better. At the very first, I think Abdullah didn't really trust Conrad, but now his trust is obviously complete. I think they raised a couple of these fences because they're jumping off clear rounds. So it's going to be awfully hard to get a clear round, especially with speed being such an important factor.
5 fences to go. Conrad Homfeld. There's Joe Fargus watching. Oh, and a fence is down. At 6.
You see how critical the position in which you go can be in the Olympic Games. That does give Joe an advantage. He knows exactly what he has to do.
Third course he's had to ride today. You'd think it'd get lost, but they keep the red to their right. The red flags at the fence. But even with that, you wonder. Joe
Turning
Fargus
back now
yet
to
go.
the big combination at the end. Where does he dare turn to make good time?
42, 43 seconds now. Head-to-head, Homfeld and Fargus. 2 knockdowns, 8, and the time, 51.03. 51.03 seconds with 8 faults. Now, it's very simple, isn't it, Bill?
That's right. Now he's in my spot. He's in the spot that I was in Mexico. Not in a jump-off. I was able to do that just in the second round. But he knows that he has a fault to play with. And he is such a steady rider under pressure that I don't think there's any way he's going to blow it.
In other words, he can knock down one fence, Joe Fargus, and win the gold.
That's right. If he has the first fence down, he might want to be a little bit quick and see if he can get the time. The time is not desperately fast either. Although notice that without ever galloping, he went in 51.03. If I were Joe, I would certainly try to jump 6. I would come a little bit wide to 6 and take my risk later on in the course.
Bill, I didn't have to be reminded of the popularity of horses in the United States, where the population is 12 million, 8 million registered with breed associations. And beginning with President Ronald Reagan, he knows what the outside of a horse making the inside of a man feel good. And with the number of fans here, your sport is getting increasingly popular, and we can all see why.
I think it's a fabulous sport. There are people who say this is an elitist sport and so forth. With all the backyard horses there are in the United States, that's nonsense. This is a sport for everybody who loves sport.
ABC does the world feed, and in the world there are 150 million horses. 150 million horses in the world. So, here comes that mare that we love, Touch of Class, and Joe Fargus. Head-to-head against his partner, his teammate, and this afternoon in this jump-off, certainly a rival.
Certainly a rival. Certainly a rival. I must say that Joe has been one of the most generous competitors you could ever ride against. He's always had a low profile. He's really been almost a self-effacing person. He's a very modest person, but he's a very beautiful rider.
Selectors this year, the United States equestrian team, what a job they had. More depth than you can imagine, but they had to pick 4 in this discipline, and that was tough. They did it by trials, and this is one of the 4.
That's absolutely right. We had to leave 4 world-class riders in the East without even letting them come to California, and we had to leave a world-class rider in the stands in the Nations Cup in the form of Ann Krzinski. But we also have some world-class riders in competition. And here is a round that I'm going to watch with so much interest, I don't think I can talk, Chris. You tell me what happened.
I'll take it over. Cleared 1. This 11-year-old thoroughbred mare at Santa Anita. That's the one that Homfeld knocked down. Now he'll make the big turn to come to the fence. It was Mark II in the second round course, and then clear.
He's still got to jump this big oxer. This big oxer is tough, and the last fence, 10B, is tough.
A rub? It doesn't count. It's still clear. 33 seconds. Now
got
the
away with
sailboat.
that.
She cut away.
She's just skimming over the fences behind, but she's leaving them all up, and she's doing it in a beautiful style. Where is he going to turn back to this big combination?
He's going to take a big bend.
He's going for the clear round. He's going to let the time take care of itself, and that's the smart move to make.
There it is, gold medal. Silver for Homfeld, bronze for Robiani.
And you know what that means, Chris? That means that in 5 rounds in the Olympic Games, over enormous fences. He's never had a single fence down.
Let's listen. There is no venue where the applause is as explosive as here. It's like being at Carnegie Hall following a performance by a wonderful artist. And he has been this week. Joe Fargas, 2 gold medals, team and individual.
Yes, I correct myself. He had the 1 fence down. But what a wonderful performance this mare has put up this week. Just unbelievable. All 16 hands of her. She probably doesn't weigh 1,000 pounds.
His partner and teammate, Conrad Homfeld, waiting for him. Look at that smile of satisfaction. Thus, the equestrian events have ended. Only
What
the
a way to end it.
And the United States equestrian team, the coaches, the grooms, they must be congratulated because they practically swept it all except dressage.
You see everything
And I
together,
guess
it would be wrong if you wouldn't have won it. It would have, really.
Now there's Homfeld.
Super.
Raimondo Denzeo, winner at Rome in 1960, congratulates him.
We'll be back to talk to Joe Fargas, gold medal winner, Homfeld the silver. But first, let's take this pause and catch our breath.
Hey. Go to a jump off to decide the gold and silver between them. I will say, Peter, that John Williams' fanfare has not grown old during these
Ladies
games, many
and
times as we've heard it.
The victory ceremonies for the equestrians' individual jumping competition will now commence.
Mesdames, Messieurs, nous allons assister maintenant à la cérémonie de remise des médailles au sport équestre, saut d'obstacles individuels.
And here they come. Horses and riders. A lovely sight. The crowd just beginning to realize that.
Swiss flag you see down there in the left-hand corner of your screen for the bronze medal winner. This crowd this evening has got up on its feet at every opportunity.
They'll have a few more opportunities.
We will also get an opportunity to see now, not for the first time during these games, but His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh.
Joe Fargas, the gold medalist from Petersburg, Virginia. His horse, Touch of Flag. Joe, 36 years old, silver medalist. Conrad Homfeld and Heidi Robiani of Switzerland. The horses do not get medals.
They get rosettes, if I recall, don't they?
That's right. The 229th and final medal ceremony of these games. What a panoply of athletics we've seen here.
Another example, I think, Jim, isn't it, the equestrians, of how far the Olympics can go in making a sport popular in a country where it is not wildly popular. Certainly show jumping is well known here, but in Western Europe and Britain, you see televised show jumping almost every week.
Will be presented by the honorary life president of the International Olympic Committee, the Lord Callanan, accompanied by Fritz O. Wittmer, Secretary General of the International Equestrian Federation.
Les médailles seront présentées par Lord Callanan, président honoraire à vie du Comité international olympique, accompagné de Fritz O. Wittmer, secrétaire général de la Fédération équestre internationale.
Lord Callanan, the former president of the IOC, is here this evening to present the equestrian medals.
fascinating career.